So the first little new segment we've got to cut into all the music stuff we've been going, and we've said for so long that we're going to talk about the download lineup after talking about the Slam Dunk lineup, and
Yes.
the first of many, the second of many, sorry, is Download 2021. It's a bit zoomed out at the moment, so I'll help you with that. Okay, that didn't work. Let's try again. There we go. That worked. Okay. Nope, that still didn't work. Okay, we'll just we'll keep it as it is. It's called Own Load at the moment. So I'm not gonna show just the poster. The poster's just a bit of a promo before we get into everything else. But overall thoughts of whether or not you're gonna check out Download next year, Rob?
Well, unfortunately, I can't go on the. Well, at least I can't do the Saturday, which is really annoying because Saturday is by far and away for me the best day at Download next year if it goes ahead. Killswitch, Mastodon, Gojira, Deftones, Biffy, Bush, Wild Hearts. I mean, my boys, Puppy, Loathe, Holding Absence, Sepultura. I mean, endless options.
Let's have a look as well.
And endless, and just all of them are bands that are up there as my favourite bands ever.
Yeah.
So that would have been an embarrassment of riches for me if I could have gone. But unfortunately, I just so happened to be seeing the Killers on the same day.
Oh, bloody hell. You're going to drop all that for the Killers. Shame on you.
Okay. Essentially, I was going to see the Killers at the Emirates Stadium, the home of football, of course, this year. Right, this June, okay? And then they postponed it to next year, and they just so happened to pick the one day I didn't want to have it on. That is my luck, right, with gigs. I back in the times when we could go to get. Hang on, a moment for the times we could actually go to gigs.
Yeah.
Back in the time where we could actually go to gigs, this used to happen to me all the time. Just a clash of different things happening. And I had to choose between one and the other. It was a nightmare. But yeah, the Saturday looks at, and we have Funeral for a Friend as well from your neck of the woods.
Yeah. So we'll work through from Friday to Saturday, starting from the top, make it drop. Oh, sorry. From the top to the bottom. Get mixed up with those two things. So Kiss, meh. I've never been a fan of Kiss.
Not a fan, really.
No.
I think Bees is a massive Kiss fan, but I hate Gene Simmons. I just cannot stand the.
Well, he hasn't cancelled my sub yet, so that's good. A Day to Remember. I saw them a few years ago. I think they're okay live. I kind of like iffy with them, but I've heard some of the newer stuff, and it sounds I gotta say, it does sound quite good. So I might give that. I might give them a listen to if there is nothing else that's going on at that time. Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes, I think it's always fun to see Frank Carter live. He's an absolute.
Oh, he's brilliant, Frank Carter. Just going back to a day to remember briefly. I have tried. I think I now will keep trying, but the amalgamation of pop punk and metalcore just really doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I think
it's like two opposite ends of the magnet. Just going away from each other for me. I get what they're trying to do, and I get that it's clever and idiosyncratic, but it's just. I mean, I like our sub-alert on the disrespect your surroundings.
It's more of the meme.
That always gets a pop out of me whenever that comes up. But in general, Data and stick to Slam Dunk, mate. Frank Carter, on the other hand, I mean, he's one of those people that is just. He's like the Johnny Rotten of this generation.
Yeah, that is a good analogy, actually.
Just instantly charismatic and instantly wears his heart on his sleeve. Loves standing up for rights of all creed and all gender, which I love. I couldn't get the only time I've seen Frank Carter at Download 2016, I couldn't get in the tent. It was so packed. But his album Blossom, his debut album with the Rattlesnakes, Blossom, it's definitely a favourite of mine. I've never heard someone sound so vitriolic on an album ever. He must have blown out his voice with that, which probably explains why he's gone in a kind of more alternative kind of soft. I wouldn't say softer because that sounds a bit disparaging, but less vitriolic
Yeah.
kind of direction. He's still solidly putting out albums, though, you know. And I also like his side project, Pure Love, that he did back in the day. Not many people did, but I dug it.
Yeah, because like a few years ago in Download, he was in the Avalanche tent, and now he's on the main stage. So that's it's a huge step up. But he has had quite a few big performances at festivals at the moment. I blew my voice singing Sinatra at karaoke last night. How does that even happen?
Was it the Devin Townsend version of "Fly Me to the Moon"? I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
I'm not making this up. I believe Strapping Young Lad did a version of "Fly Me to the Moon." I could be wrong. Gonna have to look that up. Fact check. We need a fact checker really for our podcast. But we'll get into that. And Luke says Data Remember are mediocre at 2 genres.
Maybe Dan can fill that role. Who knows?
Data Remember has its share of detractors, I guess. But fair play for getting a sub-headline slot at Download. I don't know if they've ever done that before, but for me, Slam Dunk Man. Anyway, next band.
Sinatra singer in my spare time at jazz bars. Fair twos.
Fair dues, Scurvy.
All right.
I'll take your point.
Moving on, Black Veil Brides. Nah, fuck off.
We'll skip past that. Let's go to the next one.
Theory.
I just remember it. One of my best memories at the first Download I ever went to was them getting bottled off the main stage and Andy Biersack showing his ball sack.
Oh,
if you will.
Wow.
Well, not his ball sack, and more his arse to the crowd.
You throw a bottle at them, they go down like a pair of Skittles.
Didn't help that Trivium were just after them, I believe.
Yeah, you're going to get people booing them. No doubt
I could be wrong.
That.
My memory's hazy at Download 2012 because I missed the whole Friday. But we'll get into that another day. Carry on.
Theory.
Who's this Theory?
I can't really say anything about them. I don't know.
Theory, I'm not really familiar with them.
Wayward Sons. I don't mind Wayward Sons, to be honest. They're
Are they kind of a country band? Country/blues band?
I don't think so. I think they could be. I could be wrong. I could be mixing them up with someone else.
Yeah.
But
it definitely seems like a kind of classic, like a kind of. I don't even know what the theme of the main stage on that day is, but
I don't know. Distillers.
I love the Distillers. Brilliant. If I go, I'm definitely seeing them ahead of Kiss.
Yeah.
Brody Dale is just. She is like. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's how I describe it, really.
I think I don't really listen to a lot of them, so I can't really say. Airborne, I
think.
If
you like your punk, if you like your 90s kind of skate punky, female lead vocals, then check it out.
Okay.
Airborne. Now I've only seen Airborne once, and I don't think I was really paying attention that much, but I remember the guy was climbing up the scaffold.
Yeah, and I think that's the main reason people go to see them, is to see him climb the scaffolding.
I mean, for me, Airborne are kind of. It's going to sound really disparaging. AC/DC light.
I think
you know what I mean?
I think a lot of people would agree. I think my ex-housemate would slate you for that, but I digress. I've never been that fussed on them. I've always just found a lot of their songs to be quite similar. So I don't know. I can't really say much more. Lacuna Coil. I do really like Lacuna Coil. They go way back for me with when like just first discovering heavy music and things, and all the way through to their latest album, which came last year, which I think was really good as well. I'd be looking forward to seeing them again.
The only thing I know about Lacuna Coil, because I really don't know anything about them that much,
Yeah.
Christina Scabia. Is that how you pronounce it?
Scabia or Scabia?
Yeah. Scabia.
I think it's Scabia.
She sang on the re-recorded version of "A Tout Le Monde" by Megadeth from United Abomination.
Yeah.
And she has got a beautiful voice. Yeah. So if Lacuna Coil's music, it's kind of more gothy, isn't it? From my understanding, what little understanding I have of it.
Yeah, a fair amount of it is. I think it does. It has some synthetic elements, but then it has that general kind of heavy metal sound to it as well. Kind of, I wouldn't say it's like metalcore per se. I think probably alternative. I'd probably say.
Right. So Miles Kennedy and Company.
I don't know. Well, obviously I know about Miles Kennedy, and I think he's a fantastic vocalist.
He's
and
actually, as you
musician.
quite rightly pointed out, Scurvy, he's playing twice
Where is he
this
playing as
festival.
well?
If you look at the Sunday, the lowest stage on the Sunday,
Right, yeah. Acoustic
is that
performance.
acoustic performance?
Ah.
I mean, that's interesting. Yeah.
Didn't was it 2016?
Anthrax, I believe. I believe Anthrax played twice at Sonosphere 2014.
Yeah.
One performance was like a main performance, but that was deputizing for a band that had to pull out, I believe.
To be honest,
And
some bands
the other
tend to do
performance
it,
they
yeah.
did, the other performance they did was in the tent where they played Among the Living in full.
Yeah.
Although I'm ashamed to say that I saw Limp Bizkit instead because I really wanted to see Limp Bizkit instead. But I'd already seen Anthrax that day, so I thought rather than seeing Anthrax twice, I'd rather go and see a new band that I really want to see.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. I remember 2016 as well. Delane did both their normal set and a acoustic set as well. So
They
that
did,
that was
yeah, I
good.
remember that.
I do love Delane. Anyway,
Did we saw the acoustic set together, didn't we?
I think so.
Elaine, I could be wrong.
I think so.
Okay, so Miles Kennedy, yeah, great
Sleep Token.
singer.
Yeah.
I prefer his stuff with Alter Bridge than with the Conspirators and Slash. If I'm being honest, I think the songs are way stronger with Alter Bridge.
Yeah, it depends.
Personally.
It depends for me. For there was one album he did with Slash that I really love, but overall with Alter Bridge, I think my favorite
Was it Apocalyptic Love
possibly. I can't
with
remember the name.
Bad Rain on it and Anastasia?
Yes,
That's the one.
yes, that's the
Yeah,
one.
that's Apocalyptic Love. Yeah.
Okay. And then in terms of Alter Bridge, my favorite album is probably still Fortress for me, or The Last Hero,
Yeah,
one of those two.
I might not get many friends with this, but my favorite album by Alter Bridge is the first one, the debut, One Day Remains.
Well, no, that's fair enough.
It has Broken Wings. It has One Day Remains, obviously. Find the Real, Metalingus, which is obviously Edge's theme from WWE.
Yeah.
Classic tune. There's just so many great tunes on that album. So that's my favorite. Anyway, I've never seen him live though. So it'd be interesting to see if he can cut a tune as well as he can in the studio.
He can.
Yes.
Next, we got Sleep Token. Now, Sleep Token, in terms of atmosphere and just, feeling those vibes live, I think Sleep Token, I've never seen them before, but this will probably be one I will want to experience. I love what Sleep Token do, and it'd be interesting to see them. They will definitely be an interesting band for me to see.
Can I just say we've probably, I don't think either of us have heard of Hatari, by the way, underneath Miles Kennedy. So sorry,
Yeah, sorry
Hatari. Don't know who you are. Sleep Token, on the other hand, I've heard very, very, very good things, especially live. Right, I obviously know their musical output on in the studio or whatever. No one knows the members of Sleep Token.
No.
But I have a few mates of mine who've seen them live. One guy I know saw him in like I think it was like a mini sort of cathedral or like a church or something.
Yeah.
Where they were playing, and he said it was one of the best live gigs he's ever seen.
Yeah, I just think there'll be that sort of band that are really. Just
I feel like they
blow
could be
away.
huge. I feel like their blending of kind of pop sensibilities, but kind of technical sounding genty guitar work. That is similar to what Ghost did with pop and like traditional heavy metal.
Yeah,
It's a
definitely.
recipe for climbing up the echelon of festival bills, I would say. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're headlining a stage pretty soon.
Tiny moving.
So yeah,
Yeah,
move swiftly on. Yeah, Sleep Token, good band.
yeah. Tiny moving parts. I imagine Katie will want to see them. I haven't listened to them that much, so I can't really say anything about them.
Unfortunately, Tiny Moving Parts are a bit of a collar tugger, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't. Sorry, I'm not familiar with that phrase.
Kind of a few slippery allegations and stuff.
Oh, were they? Okay.
But from what I've heard of them, yeah, they're all right. They're just a bit emo for me,
Okay, so we got Hot Milk. I've listened to a bit of Hot Milk stuff. Probably not a band I'd go to see live, but they're sort of one of those catchy, sort of punkish rock bands that you'd hear. I think the I think the vocalist is really good. So there's only one song I've really heard, to be honest. So I can't say too much.
Yeah, Hot Milk. I know of Hot Milk, and I know that they were getting bigged up pretty well in the Heavy Music Awards that just happened about like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Could not tell you what sort of style they are, what they sing, or anything. I've yet to listen to them, so on the fence about that.
Okay, same with Gender Roles.
I've heard a bit of Gender Roles though. Gender Roles are kind of alternative / punk kind of, but like modern that kind of modern alternative. Same bracket as like a band like Culture Abuse, perhaps, although we can't really talk about them anymore. Maybe like Moose Blood, although we can't talk about them anymore either. Oh, this is going well.
It's like me with the album
with an
reviews.
exclamation, Fizzy Blood, Dead, bands like that. I'd kind of lump them in the same cat. Pulled Apart by Horses. Do you know them?
No.
Kind of that same kind of bracket. Kind of abrasive alternative rock, but take or leave them, really.
Yeah.
They're all right.
Okay. Press Club, anything?
Never heard of them.
Same. Wargasm. Oh,
Wargasm.
Never heard of
Here
them.
we go.
Oh.
Now we're talking.
Okay. Yeah. I saw what they did at Download TV. It was exceptional, and the whole sound that they've brought forward, I think they are going to make some sparks fly at Download. So even in the Avalanche tent, as opposed to like the main stage or whatever.
I saw them at well, I didn't see them, but I watched the Heavy Music Awards, and their performance there was outstanding. Again,
Nice.
we've covered. If you want to hear our thoughts on Gold, Gold, Gold by Wargasm and KB's first listen to it, then you can go back on our YouTube channel and revisit that. But safe to say we're both fans of this group.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good stuff.
Electric Wizard, I'm just not a fan of doom metal, except Black Sabbath. It's just too slow for me.
It's definitely an acquired taste, doom metal. I have some good mates who are in a doom metal band, Famine, down in Canterbury. Shout out to them. And but they're kind of more sort of psychedelic, and they have riffs, Famine. Whereas Electric Wizard are kind of quite plodding and
Yeah.
No, I can totally see why it's an acquired taste, and I'm not a stoner, so I wouldn't know if I would be in the right frame of mind to particularly listen to this sort of music,
Yeah, when I saw them, because Gojira were playing after them, I can't wait to listen to Gojira. I'm sorry, but that's just what it is. Then Blues Pills, I haven't heard much about them.
Again, sort of country / blues band in the vein of like the Temperance Movement or some band like that.
Okay.
But no, I don't
like the Temperance Movement.
I haven't really listened to them, to be fair. So
Okay, Bokassa.
I love Bokassa. Right, Bokassa. I saw them last year at the Underworld with my boys Puppy and the aforementioned Boys of Mine Famine, the doom metal band supporting. I actually managed to get them, coax them into a slot supporting these guys, and I think they're very grateful for that. So shout out to them. But yeah, brilliant band. If you love riffs, if you love stoner riffs and intensity and just driving great rock music, basically. They supported Metallica at one point. They're from Norway. And actually, this band have been actually playing gigs in Norway. Proper gigs, like with actual people involved. So I don't know if Norway's as affected as we are over here, but that was one thing that kind of got my attention about them. Also, I met them as well. I got a photo taken after the gig with them, my sweaty ass in the middle of the lead singer and the drummer, I believe, and I was holding a copy of their album. Their album last year, by the way. Let me just bear with me 1 second.
No worries.
Yes. What do you know much about Bokassa?
No, I've heard of them. I'm sure I listened to them at some point, but I just can't remember how they sounded.
Yes. I'll tell you, it's Crimson Riders is the name of the album, and it was one of my absolute favorite releases of last year. So yeah, again, if you just love stoner rock / stoner metal, you love driving kind of Caius-esque, bit of Cavell Attack in there as well.
Okay.
then and they're very, their lyrics are kind of very tongue in cheek and but tongue in cheek in a kind of in a Doom Boy by Dirty Neil way where it's almost kind of semi serious and it's relatable tongue in cheekness.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's enough about me waffling about Picasso.
Tempt.
Temp's never heard of him.
A.A. Williams.
Sorry, Temp. Never heard of him. Sorry, mate.
Celador Mooncrow.
Good name, but no, never heard of you either. Sorry.
J.J. Wild.
No.
Okay. All
Sorry.
right.
we're rapidly losing points with the Mosh Talk listeners here.
Possibly.
Not having heard of these bands.
I mean, they're on the bottom stage, so can you blame us?
Right. So Saturday,
Biffy Clyro. Now, these are a bit of a polarizing choice for download. Personally, for me, I've always wanted to see Biffy Clyro. They're one of my favorite bands, so I personally don't mind that they're headlining Saturday. I think they, from what I saw from, I think it was 2017, they did knock it out of the park. So it's possible they can do it again, and their new album is brilliant. So
it really is. I mean, I want them to go full blown pissing off the metal elitists at this festival by doing their WAP cover.
yes, that'll be like a new encore or something. Just before you go, we want to part ways with you in the best way we can possibly think of. Make it drop that some way, ass Biffy.
Boo! Get off the stage. No, I love Biffy Clyro. I'm just going to say it out there. I love them.
Yeah.
I've seen them twice. First time was supporting Foo Fighters at my very first outdoor gig, like big outdoor gig back in 2011. Apart from Simon Neill's suspiciously green trousers.
It's chinos.
Yeah, his chinos. Yeah, I just thought they were great, and I've been a fan since then, really. In terms of actually listening to their albums, I'm kind of up and down, with them, but live, I think they're fantastic. I also saw them supporting Metallica at Download 2012. In fact, they were a sub-headliner under Metallica, so they were always going to make that next step up. So I don't understand why so many people are complaining,
Yeah, but it is what it is, I suppose. But speaking of...
I mean, their music it has a pop element to it, but, Ghost has a pop element to it.
Yeah.
And people don't think Kiss has a pop element to it. You could argue, bands like Mastodon have pop elements to them. So I just don't get the whole argument about they're not metal enough or they're not hard rock enough or whatever, or they're too mainstream. It's like Kiss are the absolute embodiment of mainstream rock, and no one's complaining about them,
Yeah, like I said, I'm not big on Kiss anyway. But anyway, speaking of chinos, we got Deftones playing before them.
Great segue. Love it. Well, I mean, what else can I say about Deftones? One of my favourite bands of all time.
Yeah.
Ever.
And they're growing on me.
They've never, ever... I'm glad they're growing on you.
It's what you've wanted for so long.
I feel like my work is almost done with that. I'm always fascinated. I'm always very grateful that I get to turn people on to new bands, but once in a while,
Yeah.
But yeah, Deftones, absolute all-time favorite of mine. Seen them now. First time was at Sonisphere 2014. Then I saw them at Download 2016, which was one of the wettest days I've ever. But most memorable gig I've ever been to, and the best gig experience I've ever had, because during Around the Fur, Chino came up to the front barrier that I was sitting on, and I helped him up. And he was standing right with pretty much his crotch in my face. I said this last week, right? And he was like, I was looking up at him. I was like, literally like about a meter away from his face, right? And he was just giving me a generous hand slap and everything from getting him up to the barrier while singing Around the Fur, the refrain, and then jumping in the crowd during the breakdown of that song. One of the best moments of my life, bar none, and I love them.
Yeah, I'll check them out. They seem to be this nice,
you really should,
exciting
I'll give
new
you some
band.
albums to get started on.
Yeah.
White Pony, Koina Yokan for me are the top albums in their back catalogue.
Sounds
Check
good. Next, yes. Oh yes,
Gojira.
I have seen them like 4 times, and I want to see them for a 5th time, without a doubt.
Gojira.
Last time I saw them was when Magma came out and they did Silvera and some other songs on that album. And yeah, I just can't get enough of Gojira. They slap so hard live, and they're one of the best bands I've ever seen live. So without a doubt for me.
Yeah, Gojira, they're just... If they're not headlining a festival in the next few years, particularly, I think they've already done Bloodstock, actually, come to think of it, but they're not up there, seriously up there,
Yeah.
with like mainstream metal festivals in the next few years. Someone will have messed up, because I just think they're the complete package. They've got amazing technical ability, just hard as nails songs that just blow your head off every time you listen to them.
Yeah.
Intense riffing. Their bassist is a maniac, right? He just, with the way he slings that thing around all the time, and he just. I wish I was that charismatic and had that much stage presence in my bass career. Yeah, I just love them. I've only ever seen them once, unfortunately. Opening up day 2 of Sonosphere 2014.
I thought it was day 3, wasn't it?
It might have been day 3. I can't remember.
Okay.
But they, I feel like everyone was hungover on that day, apart from me.
Yeah, because I think they were on late, weren't they? Because I think there was something to do with the guys trying to set up Metallica's stage.
That's right. Yeah, sorry, I beg your pardon. You're absolutely right. Yeah, they were setting up Metallica's stage, so as a result, Gojira went on a bit later than expected.
Yeah,
but just the rush of, I remember everyone was running towards the front of the stage.
Yeah,
from the back, and being the first band on, you can't imagine it now with Gojira.
Oh, most
They
definitely.
have to be at least midway through the bill.
Yeah, well,
but yeah, Gojira, fantastic band. I recommend. From Mars to Sirius is the quintessential album for me.
For me, it's probably The Way of All Flesh.
That's a brilliant album as well.
They're all brilliant, to be fair. So
okay,
you know,
Pretty Reckless.
Aren't they? Is that the one with that girl from The Grinch is in?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was going to open with. Don't know much about the Pretty Reckless, really. Although I do know that Taylor Momsen, she sang a Soundgarden song at one of Chris Cornell's tribute gigs.
All right.
After he passed away, and she was in floods of tears afterwards. So bless her, I guess. You know, don't really know much about her band though. You know, from what I have heard, they're all right. You know, kind of a Hailstormy vibe about them. I guess.
Okay.
I don't know if that's unfair to say or not, or if that's reflective of their music. The tunes I've heard represent that.
Okay. Well, those Damn Crows, they come from my neck of the woods. I can't really say I've listened to. I can't really say I've listened to them yet. That's embarrassing to say. I still need to give them a listen. But you know, for the little time I've heard of them, for them to be on the main stage, bloody hell, that is some feat. So
hey, it's always great when a lowlier band gets a spot on the main stage.
Oh yeah,
I believe they've played Download in the past, those Damn Crows, but I couldn't tell you what their. I mean, I think they're kind of bluesy. Again, that bluesy kind of rock vibe, right?
Possibly. I'll have to, like I said, I'll have to give them a listen. And
if you like blues rock, check out those Damn Crows. Right.
Kill Switch, motherflecker.
Kill Switch, engage.
Okay.
Where do I even start? Just one of my favorite bands in the history of me listening to music. Just they changed my life, basically.
Oh, definitely. I think
Alive or Just Breathing is an album that set me off on a specific direction that I wanted to go into in my life.
Yeah.
That I hadn't previously before. And Jesse Leach is the man of all man.
I mean, I listened to them a bit later than Alive or Just Breathing, so like End of Heartache was what I got into, and then
so you're in the Howard camp then?
Well, kind of. I do prefer Jesse as a vocalist, I will say.
I absolutely love Howard. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. And As Daylight Dies is my second favourite Killswitch album. But Jesse just has a passion and a delivery, and he wears his heart on his sleeve so much.
Oh, yeah, and you can hear it in the lyrics as well.
Howard is clearly the better singer. That I will say that off the bat. He's definitely the better singer. But I think the Killswitch aesthetic, Jesse embodies that, you know?
Yeah, there are times though when I really dig Jesse's vocals on the albums though.
Oh
So
yeah, his
in his own
screaming is
way.
phenomenal.
But even his cleans for me, I
And on
really
Atonement, like you can tell on Atonement, the lessons from Melissa Cross he was getting because he had vocal surgery
did
last
he.
year.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah. You didn't. We both saw Killswitch Engage at Brixton Academy, didn't we?
Mm.
With Mr. De Silva. And it was a fantastic show. They only played one song from Alive or Just Breathing, which I was a little bit kind of sad about, but he can just belt it out when he wants to, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's just a shame with Howard now at the moment. He's been in two bands which I found a bit generic, if I may say so. Like
Light the Torch and Devil You Know, which is Devil You Know is basically the same band as Light the Torch. They had to change their name for copyright reasons, I believe. So it's the same band.
Oh right, okay, but
unless you're talking about Blood Is Shed, which is his pre-Killswitch band.
no, the latter two. Yeah.
Oh, I do love Howard as well. Howard is great, and he's very funny as well. If you listen to him on Chris Jericho's podcast,
I'll have to give that a listen. Yeah,
he's fantastic. It was from years ago. I used to listen to it on my way to work in Ruislip, and it just cracked me up. He's a fun guy, and he's not without his struggles either. He's diabetic. He was suffering from depression, which is ultimately the reason why he left Killswitch. And then Jesse came back in. But Jesse, for me, is Killswitch. Like that is his band,
Yeah,
and I love him.
Yeah. Next is Mastodon. I really want to see.
Next is one of your favourite bands.
Oh yes. I haven't seen Mastodon since Once More Round the Sun, so I haven't seen them post that, and I haven't. So
you haven't seen them on the Emperor of Sand cycle?
No, or the whatever they're gonna do next. There's some songs I don't think they're gonna have. Well, they're probably gonna have 40 to 50-minute set, so they're not gonna play probably not gonna play Crack the Sky or anything like that. But still, they're just gonna be one I'm just gonna rush to because they're one of those bands. When I was making a bit of that transition into discovering more metal bands, they were the one that I just kept going back to all the time because their backlog is just so interesting, and you hear something new every single time, and that's why I love them so much. There's just so much going on in the band at once.
Yeah, well, Mastodon, I would say, are one of my first kind of. If we're talking metal bands, they're definitely one of my first favourites as well. Crack the Sky is just a perfect album for me from start to finish.
Oh yeah.
Bees will disagree. We've been trying to get him into it. We did a listen through of that, and he was saying, "Yeah, now is my annual listen through of Killswitch, of Crack the Sky, where I try and get into this album." But I just think it's perfect. I really liked Emperor of Sand as well. I think it's one of those albums that kind of surreptitiously was good, and I didn't even really know it myself. So I went through what I mean is I went through rating all of Mastodon's albums out of 5 stars on my iTunes, and that got a lot of 5-star tracks. Show Yourself and
Roots Remain is my favorite.
Roots Remain, brilliant album. I just think consistently their output has been brilliant.
Yeah,
in a live setting, questionable over the years. Is that fair to say? In
the olden days, yes. In the newer days, I think they are a lot more solid, if I may say so.
Particularly Brent. His vocals live are just, I don't know.
When he sings, he's all right, but then when he screams,
he can sound like a strangled cat at times. To be frank,
I mean, he have he had some laryngitis or something during that 2007 stage, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that. This was that download to 2007. If you look up the footage, he does.
The footage of March of the Fire Ants is just hilarious.
But I just think, just super talented group. If only their vocals were consistent live, right? And I say this as a huge fan of Mastodon.
Yeah,
they will be right up there.
Yeah, without a doubt. Daughtry, I mean, they've gone for a while, but I've never really listened to them that much. What about you?
No, I've never really listened to them. They're one of those kind of mid-2000s butt rock bands, along with Buckcherry.
Okay. Then I'll pass.
Theory of a Dead Man. Bands
Definitely
like that.
Pass.
So hard pass for me, I'm afraid. Sorry, Daughtry.
Okay. Bush. This is the band.
I really like Bush.
They were the ones that got me
Not in that
confused
way,
with
but I really
Machine
like
Head.
Bush. We had a grunge tournament yesterday on Mosh Talks, and Bush. They ultimately lost to Smashing Pumpkins, but some of the tunes they had like Come Down and Glycerin, Machine Head, bangers, you know. And Gavin Rossdale is a stunning man.
Stunning man.
If I do say so myself, as a heterosexual. I've met his daughter actually. Whilst I was working on Strictly, his daughter Daisy Lowe was part of the series. She's a model. She is like the perfect woman.
She's like butter.
Yeah.
Just making a Shaun of the Dead
so
reference
gorgeous. There. She's like, she's very funny. She's very smart, and she campaigns for women's rights. So like, the full package for me.
Oh yes.
But back to Bush. Your thoughts on Bush?
Hardly ever listened to them. Sorry.
Hardly ever listened to them. Right. Well, if you like kind of 90s alternative, you know.
Yeah.
In the vein of, you know, that kind of first wave of post-grunge, not when post-grunge kind of turned into like Theory of a Dead Man, the aforementioned Theory of a Dead Man and Black Cherry and all this lot. No, or Creed. No, the first wave of post-grunge.
Right. Okay. Sounds interesting. Okay, well, Rob, this is your band, I think, the Wild Hearts.
This is another one of my favourite bands, the Wild Hearts. Acquired taste.
Yeah, I can't really say much about them. I've listened to them, but not my cup of tea, personally.
Very much an acquired taste. I don't know what it is about them. Their album, Earth vs. the Wild Hearts, is one of the best albums of all time, in my opinion. Just the way they kind of intertwine pop melodies, almost Beatlesque melodies, with sort of AC/DC hard rock. But they're not like your average kind of pop songs either. They're very discordant and there's something very kind of dark about them. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
And Ginger Wildheart's obviously been going through his struggles in the past. It's kind of reflected in his songwriting, you know, with drugs and things like that. So on the surface, they're kind of you have these ditty little choruses with like heavy riffs and this sort of very kind of dark subtext to them. And I just was instantly hooked, you know?
Yeah.
Great band.
Okay, cool. Not Puppy, Poppy.
We'll get onto them later. Poppy. Yeah, you know what? She's growing on me.
Yeah.
Right? I listened to her recent, I think it was played on Mosh Talk stream. Is it unfair to lump her into the kind of baby metal camp?
I can't really say because I don't know.
You don't really know Poppy?
I don't really know Poppy, no.
Well, basically, she started off as a YouTuber, right? Who was making these very kind of weird vlogs where, like, sort of almost like postmodern kind of vlogging where she would, like, on the surface be happy, but you could tell there was, like the Wild Hearts songs I mentioned earlier, like a dark subtext to them. And if you've ever seen Please Hug Me, I'm Scared, or whatever it's called.
Oh, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, yeah.
Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in that sort of vein of weird kind of dark vlogging. But,
right, okay.
But she then pursued a musical career. And it's sort of dainty, jaunty little mainstream pop songs, but then crushing hammer blow riffs suddenly come out of nowhere. You know? And it's kind of baby metal are kind of, you get the impression they're manufactured for the sake of being manufactured, whereas there's a definite element of kind of tongue-in-cheekness and like deliberate kind of anti-pop elements to her music, you know?
Right. Okay. Well, that sounds interesting again. Okay, so we got Stone Broken, anything?
No, again, sounds like any band that has the word stone or broken in the same name, it just makes me think of blues rock again.
Stone
They're
Sour.
probably a blues rock band.
Stone Temple
I could
Pilots.
be wrong. The chat will probably correct me.
Blackstone Cherry. So, yep, my other boys, Funeral for a Friend, saw them at Cardiff. Saw them in Cardiff, not at Cardiff or in Cardiff. Either one works. In the university last year, and may I say that is one of the best gigs that I've been to, because hearing it's very nostalgic. They played a lot of their early stuff, like even before their first album. So they did throw a lot into the mix, and it'll be really exciting to hear what they play here. I don't think they're going to play a lot of stuff after the Into Oblivion album. They're probably going to play more of their older stuff, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to check out.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Funeral for a Friend. I've got to be honest. Other than that, they're from Wales.
I definitely like,
and they are post-hardcore. Other than that, I know absolutely nothing about.
But they're one of those really good post-hardcore bands, if not like probably my favourite, because they've got the riffing as well as everything else. So and the first album I thought had great production on it as well, which you wouldn't expect for like 2003's post-hardcore. Really, it was very kind of thin sounding. But anyway, we got Creeper. Now, unlike you, Rob, Creeper have actually grown on me, I'll admit. So
you know what, they to an extent they have with me as well, particularly their singles, right? I'm still not a fan of the Steinman-esque kind of vibes that they give off with, they sound like Meatloaf meets AFI, and it just too over melodramatic for me at points,
Okay, yeah.
But they have definitely, Will seems like a nice guy, and everything, and Bees' passion for them is so infectious. It a little bit has kind of rubbed off on me as well. So, but yeah, just fair play to them. Top 5.
If only the same happened with Crack the Sky.
Yeah, top 5. Yeah, if only. Yeah, top 5 album in the UK, which is in this day and age kind of unheard of, really, for a band that's in this kind of vein,
Yeah, and yet they're only in the Avalanche stage, so don't know.
They're going to be huge. They are absolutely going to be huge. Their fans are rabid for them.
Yeah,
I'm not even joking. Like, I still remember the last Creeper gig, like what in quotation marks, obviously, because they're back now. The last Creeper gig, which took place at the Coco in November of 2018, and there were actual tears, like when they announced they're splitting up, and I'm just standing there, having seen Puppy, going, "Oh well, Puppy were good though, weren't they?" Yeah. Anyway, growing on me, Creepers, still not fully there yet, but I can appreciate their music.
Okay. The Fame, I can't say anything about them, but
Pop punk band.
Okay.
Let's move on.
All right. Employed to Serve. I don't know, a bit. They're heavy, but they're a bit drony as well. So I don't know. And not my.
Are you a fan? Would you say?
No, not really.
No, see, I'm not really a fan either. That people really like Employed to Serve, right? I don't know. I'm going to get into hot water for saying this. I'm generally not a fan of that kind of screamed vocals.
Yeah.
But mathcore in general, like just that whole mathcore element of dissonant chords, I'm just not. It just doesn't sit well with me. I like melody in my stuff. Even if it's subtle melody, if it's just hammer blow riffing and hammer blow vocals, there's no room for dynamics to my ears.
Yeah.
But I can totally respect Employed to Serve for their ethics, what they do, the aforementioned Church Road records label that they've set up for Svalbard, having departed Holy Raw, but just not my cup of tea.
Fair enough.
I have tried. I'm sorry, they're just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I can
now,
see
Employed now, Holding Absence are very much my cup of tea.
I don't know. I still need to check out their music, to be honest.
Holding Absence.
You
know them, don't you?
Yeah. No. I'm closest. I like. Yeah. It is. Very. Yeah. They're good. They're great. Love them.
Just solid atmospheric post-hardcore.
Definitely. Yeah. That's
nothing more, nothing less. Never seen them live yet, but I imagine this live show is going to be epic.
I'm going to be playing a game of Spot the Scot like I did in my download video. So
Yes.
I sent that to him.
Yeah.
He laughed out loud at that.
I got the first-hand skinny from you that Lucas from Holding Absence is a Man United fan.
Yes,
Correct?
he is actually. Yeah.
So minus points for that, Lucas. Come on, mate. Seriously.
When tell you need to start spreading the hashtag Ole out. You know, you're part of a popular band now.
Yeah, of
No, I
course.
don't know if it's Ole though, but
But yeah, Holding Absence. Now, interestingly, right next to them, they're contemporaries, I would say. They did a split EP together, and this band is responsible for my album of the year so far, and I doubt that's going to change. Loathe.
Loathe, like if Holding Absence kept that atmospheric element and just made it even heavier, then you'd create Loathe.
I listened to Car Bomb for the first time a few weeks ago. Yeah, definitely taking a lot of cues from Car Bomb, from Deftones as well. Bit of, they're part of that new metalcore wave that I mentioned earlier. Heavy industrial elements and riffing and sick, gnarly vocals, but beautiful texturing, like unbelievably beautiful texturing in their sound.
Oh, absolutely.
When they can, and just some of the songs are just. I get goosebumps listening to them.
Yeah.
Their album, I let in and it took everything. Masterpiece.
I love the name.
And I don't throw that word
as
around
well.
lightly, right? I don't throw that word around lightly, but it is a masterpiece.
Oh yeah, without doubt.
And it is, and I hope it's their kind of breakthrough to success once we get gigs going again.
Well, let's see where it ends up on my top 10 in at the end of the year, because I always do that.
But I just remember seeing Loathe. I remember seeing Loathe in Bedford Esquires, which I think was like 200 cap venue, if that.
Yeah.
It was such a small venue. It wasn't even their. Oh, hang on. Where's Kieran going?
Yeah.
Hang on, we lost you there for a second.
Oh no, I was opening my window because it's boiling in here. I was hoping that you'd continue talking.
That is.
I was
You
being
need to get some of
strategic.
that unketamine down you, mate. Now with vitamin E.
Does it come in the shape of
Sponsor
a
for
fan?
today. No, it's not in the shape of a dog's penis like your vape was last week.
Oh.
But anyway, Loathe. Saw Loathe, 200 cap venue, if that. Not even the main stage of Bedford Esquires. It's my local music venue. They absolutely crushed it. There wasn't even that many people there. I just felt privileged to be in that room with them before they've now exploded. And I'm glad that they've exploded. This band deserve to be huge, right?
Oh yeah,
And I hope they will.
absolutely.
Speaking of bands that deserve to be huge, my boys, Puppy.
Your boys. Well, the floor is yours, Rob.
Yeah, floor is mine. Yeah. This band, I don't think there has been a band that I've been more invested in or excited about in the last 5 years, I would say, than Puppy. First saw them at Download 2016, instantly hooked from then on. Got to know them quite well over the years, been to multiple gigs of theirs. They're the band that I've seen the most amount of times, I think like 8 times, 9 times. I've done their Wikipedia page for them. I've done all their guitar tabs that you'll find on the internet. I've done for them. Constantly going. I want this band to do well in every sense. I just love them. They're great guys. Their music is brilliant. If you love 90s alternative mixed with kind of Sabbath / Iron Maiden riffing, hints of Weezer and Ghost in there, it's just. Jock is an amazing guitar player. Billy is an amazing drummer and a big gooner as well, so that's bonus points.
Boo.
Yeah, I know. And they're all lovely lads, and I just wish them all the success in the world. Just brilliant. Thoughts on Puffy, Kieran?
No, I think I've listened to a bit of their stuff, and I can't really say like it's my like, oh my god, wow, but I for what my music taste is, they're
of course
decent to me.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. Anything on Blackout Problems at all?
I've heard of the Blackout, but I haven't heard of Blackout Problems.
Nah.
Might be a different band. No, not heard of them.
Okay, Sepultura. If it was like back in the olden days or whatever, I'd be like, yeah, okay. But Sepultura of today, I'm just like, I'm not really that keen on it. To be honest.
It's a different. It's an entirely different lineup, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know that Max has long gone. He went in like 1997 or something, and Igor, I believe, isn't there either. So it's just Andreas Kisser and this new guy. I can't remember his name on lead vocals, but I haven't listened to I haven't listened to any of Sepultura's stuff. I say since the mid '90s. I want around the mid '90s, but I've only ever listened to their '90s output, which is obviously great. But you know, I know in this day and age,
Yeah, it is what it is, really.
it is what it is.
Obituary, I haven't listened to enough of it, but I probably will listen to more because I'm you can tell that like this Dogtooth stage on the Saturday is like the
Yeah,
very,
it looks like the death metal stage. This one.
yeah, mainly Obituary. Yeah, I've listened to a bit of it, and
So I'll kind of leave the floor to you because you're more of an expert on that sort of stuff than I am, I would say.
yeah, I'd be sure to check Obituary out. They've stood long enough, and you know, I can't really, like I said, I can't say much about them. I think I've liked a few of their songs, or one or two. I can't remember. I need to refresh on it, to be honest. So there's that. Dying Fetus, I think this is one of the death metal bands that I'm not really that keen on. I think it's their sound. I don't know. It's a bit muffled for my taste. So there's that. Bleed From Within. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yes,
Oh
here
yes.
we go.
Oh yes.
Here we
Oh
go.
yes. Oh, you know.
Great band. I'm kind of gutted actually. If I was to go on the Saturday, that they're also on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I noticed about this download lineup is in terms of bands that I love being spread out, they're kind of all bottlenecked into one day, which is a bit frustrating. In terms of clashes.
Hopefully they add more
Bleed
stuff,
from Within.
but-
Bleed From Within is probably going to clash with the Wild Hearts or Gojira or someone like that, which is a shame, you know, because I think they're a great band. I'd love to see them live.
Yeah, I mean, Scott Kennedy, the vocalist, when I went to Budapest last year, he was the one that filled in for While She Sleeps lead singer, and I think he stole the show for them. And
He's a great singer.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I mean, the latest album is absolutely fantastic.
Fracture. This is Bleed From Within. Brilliant.
Yeah,
right up there for me.
Some of my favorites on that album being like Pathfinder, The End of All We Know, Ascension is good. I'm trying to think of a lot of the songs. Even the title track, I love the way it builds up and things like that. And I think it's something that, if you like this album, then I definitely recommend going and checking their earlier stuff. Era is absolutely fantastic as well.
Were they kind of more deathcore in the beginning?
Kind of, yeah. I wouldn't say
See,
deathcore,
that might
but
not
like,
be my cup of tea.
just
Then, their
more-
earlier stuff, but I really love Fracture. It's great.
Well, I think everything from Uprising onwards is similar to the sound they've got now. So I would say, you know, if you like this album, though, Uprising and Era, you'll definitely like as well. So there's that. I Am Oblivion on Era is really good. I recommend that. Crown of Misery, just absolute, just belting everything out. Afterlife is good as well. So yeah, I can't wait to see them.
Good stuff.
Will Haven, I haven't heard much about them.
No, I can't say I've really heard of them either.
Yeah. Okay. Higher Power. You really liked their album, didn't you?
This is for a long time, and it might even still be at the end of the year. I'll have to reflect on this year. Was my second favorite album of this year, behind Loathe. 27 Miles Underwater. It is brilliant.
Yeah.
Right? Not enough superlatives for it. You know, Anthrax meets Jane's Addiction meets Deftones, all in like a blender. He has that Perry Farrell way of singing, which is kind of I just love his vocals, and I love the atmospherics that they implement into their songs. They're more of a kind of crossover thrash sort of outfit, more than you know, as opposed to Lowe's atmospherics, which relies on kind of the bleaker industrial elements.
Oh yeah.
This
definitely.
kind of atmospheric is kind of more driving and Deftonesy.
Yeah.
The drivier side of Deftones, I would say. But great band. Never seen them live. Was thinking about seeing them. They recently, well, I say recently, when gigs were still a thing, at the Underworld, they were going to play a show dedicated to the Doom soundtrack.
Oh, Lash.
You know the game. Do you know the game Doom?
Yes. What, the newest one or?
Their latest one, the Doom Eternal, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I still need to play that because I've heard so many good things about that game. Insane. Joyous Wolf, haven't heard much about them. I don't know about you.
No, never heard of them.
Lotus Eater, I loved their EP last year. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I didn't rank it in my top 10 albums because I didn't really want to put EPs on there. But if it was just to do with EPs, then it would have definitely been on there.
They're one of those bands that I've heard so much promise about, and yet I've still yet to really check out their music.
Yeah.
But I just love the green color aesthetic of their. In every promo shot on every album they have is green.
Yeah. But
and also they've got some fantastic merch for sale, like really colourful sort of t-shirts and things. And I'm tempted to buy one just to support them because there you go. I've yet to check them out. But I feel like they'll be a band that's kind of on my radar.
Yeah. Then Dead Label. I can't say anything. What about you?
Dead Label Society. No.
Ah.
Don't know anything about them, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Okay. System of a Down. I still haven't seen System of a Down at all, ever. So it is one that I check out just because it's System of a Down and I really like System of a Down. But from what I've heard, they're not as good as they used to be in terms of live performances. So it's a bit of a skeptical one for me, but, I don't know about you.
I'm with you there. I mean, I Toxicity is a perfect album. If you were to say pick an album, right, or pick your top 10 albums that don't have a single bad track on it, I would struggle for the most part, but Toxicity goes straight in there.
For me, it's actually Mesmerize, so that's kind of an unpopular opinion, but Mesmerize is my favourite album because it got...
Is Mesmerize on with... That's the one with BYOB and...
Yeah. I think it's the one with Question on it as well.
And Violent Pornography's on that one as well.
Yes, I think so.
That's a great tune. I like System of a Down a lot. Yeah, at uni, I listened to Toxicity a lot when I was at uni. Great. It's when I first kind of discovered them, really, to tell you the truth. Surge live. He just doesn't seem to have the intensity as he used to.
I think there's always been like musical differences between them that has stopped Surge.
Yeah, they all hate each other, don't they?
I don't know if they actually hate each other. I think it's just their music tastes are just like he wants to go down more of a sort of melodic path, and they kind of want to just be all around crazy. So that
the fact that it's taken them 15 years and it's to try and work things out, and there's still no new album.
Yeah. It
kind of suggests some frailties within the camp,
Yeah.
But just, I don't know, Surge's vocals on System, when he performs with System now, I remember watching performances of, when they performed at Reading and things like that back in the day, and the intensity he was showing. Whereas this one, he's kind of more in a dancey, jiggy sort of mood and like sings in a sort of weird high pitch, as opposed to like going, ah! He kind of goes, ah,
Why? Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. Fair enough. He's getting older. You need to save your voice or whatever. But I don't know. And also, the whole thing with John D'Elia, man, or the drummer, being a bit of a questionable character coming out in the last few years. You know what? I'll probably still see him if I go. But
it's all coming out of the woodwork, isn't it? All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Korn. I saw Korn in, was it 2016? I think you did as well.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the wettest day, it was the wettest day of my life.
Oh yeah, I remember there was a mosh pit, and there was this attractive girl that was in the mosh pit, and everybody wanted to hug her and everything. It was more.
Where are we going with this, Kieran?
It was more like the simp pit.
Oh God.
I'll knock you over
Korn,
for a crumb.
That day was actually the first time I'd ever seen Korn live. Would you believe? I remember Jonathan Davis was getting very agitated with the crowd because we were all a bit fed up with the weather.
Yeah,
and we weren't that invested. And He was trying to get the most out of us, but I don't think it really manifested that well in the end, just because the weather was so bad and we were all a bit lethargic and fed up of the fact that this was another download with appalling weather.
Yeah, I think it's like, and Jonathan Davis is not the most outgoing person. He's very reserved.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, so
you said that their last album, their most recent album,
The Nothing.
The Nothing is up there.
Oh yes, definitely up there. You know, have you heard Serenity of Suffering?
No, I'm a funny one with Korn, you see, because they are good and they've got that kind of sound about them.
Mm.
But I almost feel like there should be a guilty pleasure in a way.
I don't know. Like, I think probably my last favorite album to come out from them was Untouchables until they started declining a bit. Even See You on the Other Side I wasn't that keen on. Korn 3 was absolutely abysmal. And then, what was it? The Paradigm Shift, that was the dubstep album. Pass that one up. And then the one that Path of Totality, I think that was the one that came out after that.
No.
That was a step in the right direction.
Path of Totality was the dubstep album.
Oh,
Paradigm
right.
Shift was the one after.
Ah, okay. Yeah, my mistake. But yeah, in terms of that, Paradigm Shift was, you know, a step in the right direction, and then they just returned to...
Was that the first album after Head came back?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then...
He was definitely missed, I feel.
Oh, yeah,
in the
without doubt.
Years.
He's a cool guy as well, from what I've seen in interviews.
Ray Luzier is such a better drummer than David Silveria, in my opinion.
Without a doubt, he's fantastic. I remember those little fills he was doing live was just like it was like orgasm to my ears.
But yeah, Korn's solid enough band. Although you know what, they're one of those bands that I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to. But when I do listen to it, yeah, good stuff.
They're a very good band to sing along to live. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
definitely. Good singles band.
Yeah,
definitely for sure.
Volbeat, I've always been a bit of I've had a love-hate relationship with Volbeat.
Cold on them.
Yeah, I think it's just like I like a few of their songs, but then I feel like I've listened to the same stuff after a while. So I'm not very keen on... I used to be quite keen on them, and then I just grew off them a little bit for that reason.
I like Volbeat. I like the sort of idiosyncrasy of their sound. You know, it's sort of my ex housemate at uni described it as Elvis metal.
Yeah,
and that's where I first heard them was several years ago. Kind of only listened to a handful of their stuff. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, but never really was enthused to check out any of their albums.
Yeah, I think the main reason I was like, oh, I'll check this band out was because Volbeat is the name of a Pokemon as well. So I was like,
really?
Fair enough.
Is it based on the name of? Is that what they based the name on?
I don't know. No, I don't think so, because I think it's volume and then beat.
That makes sense. Yeah,
probably just coincidence.
But the Danish band. I did see them. Was it 2018? They played.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they played just before
Bullet.
I want to say Avenged Sevenfold.
No, because I think Bullet played before Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh no, it was Guns N' Roses, wasn't it?
Was it Guns N' Roses?
Or was it Ozzy? Anyway, regardless, they played in 2018 on the main stage, and
they got good energy about them. I just think my gripe.
Heaven Nor Hell, by the way, is a massive tune, and the fact they don't play that one live very often.
I think I love Marianne's Place. That's one of my favorites. Hallelujah Goat is a classic, and then a good ending song is Still Counting. Just because of the lyrics and that riff that goes on after the first verse. Yeah.
Rise Against.
Okay, so Rise Against, I love their back catalogue. I think I love a lot of their songs. I don't think there's much new that's come out of them. So in terms of them live, it's probably something I would have seen before anyway. Because I don't think there's much you can. They're solid live. But I think as well, because of how much he belts on the songs, sometimes he kind of falls a bit live, but that's understandable. But
do you remember Cam from
Download 2018 Art Camp?
From Download.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who we camped with at Download 2018.
Yeah.
He loved Rise Against. I had 2 Rise Against albums in my car, and that's all he wanted to play on the way over. So they I feel like they have their kind of big fan base about them. Took me a while, like, I don't know. They're one of those bands that I kind of drift in and out of. I remember I did, for my first ever rehearsal with a band. This was back in upper school, right? I was playing guitar, and then the bass player actually, he didn't even have a bass, so he basically down-tuned his guitar to bass tone. It shows you that we don't have many musicians where I live, particularly back then. But the first song we tried was "Give It All,"
right,
which is a massive tune, in fairness.
Okay.
As is, a lot of the stuff from Appeal to Reason and.
Which one's Appeal to Reason? Because I always get mixed up with the names of their albums. Is Appeal to Reason the one with Prayer of the Refugee on, or is that, or is it Savior?
I think that's a different album. Rise Against. Solid band. I like my punk, and I like. Well, I mean, I really, really like my punk. I should say.
Yeah.
And they're definitely the flag bearers for a kind of American mainstream, no nonsense punk, not the pop punk type. They're the kind of. I'd say they're the real deal.
Yeah, and what they do.
They have ethics. They have stuff they believe.
Oh yeah, and like what they do for animal rights and stuff as well.
Yeah, Appeal to Reason has Savior on it, and it has Kotov Syndrome, Re-Education through Labour.
That's one of my favourites, Re-Education.
Yeah. And The Sufferer and the Witness has Injection, Chamber the Cartridge, Under the Knife, Prayer of the Refugee.
Yes, that's probably my favourite album.
Both great albums, solid albums.
Yeah. Okay, so then we've got Alestorm. They are so fun. I think the last 2 albums fallen down a bit. I think Sunset on the Golden Age was like the peak for them, and then just after that they sunk a bit. I think they're trying to be a bit too jokey, and it's kind of made their music suffer a bit. That's probably just me, but I don't know. It makes me kind of like when you hear like a lot of their epic songs. The new album doesn't really have a lot of that. So that's essentially it.
Although I swear to God, if I hear "We Are Here to Drink Your Beer" one more time and you need Dev,
I do like that song though. But
I've no feelings one way or the other with Alestorm. If you like folk punk, folk metal, if that's your sort of thing, pirate metal, whatever you want to call it, then fair play to you.
Yeah.
Myself, I do not listen to that stuff at all, really. So, that's on Mate Dan's thing, really. More than anything else.
Some of my favourite songs, I love Surf Squid Warfare or Sunset. Even Sunset on the Golden Age, that's a really good song. 1741. Most of the songs off that album are just so good.
I bet they're a great laugh live.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, yeah. Like everyone drinking and having a good time and jumping up and down. And
when I saw them at Sonosphere, they were like, "We're Alestorm and blah, blah, blah." Was that? Oh, no, that might have been Carcass. One of the two. But either two.
No, Carcass are from Liverpool. So they'll be like, "We are Carcass. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Where's the granny?" All right. We got.
You'd think even in this segment, you'd think we couldn't even sneak any accents into this, but there you go.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
Anything can happen. Oh, is that a Stingray reference?
Enter Shikari.
No, whatever. Probably Enter Shikari got that from Stingray. But anyway, we're massively digressing. Powerwolf. Ever heard of them?
I've heard of them, but don't know much about them, unfortunately.
Powerwolf suggests power metal, which
okay,
not my cup of tea.
Fair enough. Wage War. So the last.
Here we go. Now we're talking.
Now I think there's 2 albums that I do like of Wage War. Their latest album. There's songs that I do like off it, like Ghost and Low. But there is a lot of. I feel like there's a lot of radio-friendly stuff on the album that kind of puts me off a little bit.
Have they gone the Beartooth route then?
Kind of, yeah. They've gone like stuff like what's that song called off the album before that? Not Indestructible. Stitch is a good one. Oh, Stitch is a great one. That's
Honestly,
one of the
Stitch
best
is like
gym tunes.
Stitch is like one of the only Wage War tunes I've listened to, but my God,
Oh yeah,
like Riff City,
yeah.
you know.
Oh no, what? Oh, what's the song I'm thinking of?
I love that tune. If I would just see Wage War on that day, just if they play Stitch
Yeah.
alone, I don't care about the other songs.
That'll
they have.
probably be
Stitch
their
is
last
such a
song, I
tune.
imagine. Definitely
Probably.
the last song. So it's off the album Dead Weight, and Disdain. That's the one. Listen to Disdain. It kind of has some inspiration from the Heretic Anthem from Slipknot. That's what.
Interesting.
So that's,
you know what? The aforementioned Alpha Wolf album, that I did my review on earlier.
Yeah.
There's definitely elements of Wage War in that. I feel.
Oh yeah, like it sounds like it. Yeah, I can see what you mean. Okay. Steel Panther. Time to get out the G strings and all that.
Time to bring out the misogynistic overdrive pedal everyone was complaining about.
I don't know. People complain about Biffy's song and all that kind of stuff. It's like, what's Steel Panther's getting away with everything? Yeah. I know they're a joke band and stuff like that. So you know.
You know what? Whatever. For a joke band, they're really, really talented.
Yeah,
you know?
I can understand why they do what they do, but this isn't about band politics or whatever.
Headliners, no, not for me.
It depends,
just
really.
Middle of the stage kind of light relief.
If it was
the real headliner.
If it was back in the day where they would show girls showing their,
oh yeah,
then
it's the most amount of that going on I've ever seen in one festival set.
Yeah.
Weirdly, this was Download 2012, right? They had them and Tenacious D one after another.
All right.
That is such a weird placement. You'd think separate two comedy metal bands as far away from each other as possible, not put them one after another.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah, okay. Anyway.
But yeah, Steel Panther, I don't really listen to them, but they're funny enough, I guess.
They'll be quite fun to listen to, I think.
Headliners, though, nah, not for me. They should be in the middle somewhere.
To be honest, I think these two should be swapped. The Darkness and Steel Panther.
Oh, the Darkness, yes.
Darkness are just... I was listening to them the other day, and I'm just like, they never get old for me. The Darkness.
No, never. It's really kind of... They make more sense in a British context, I would say. If you grew up in Britain in the early 2000s...
The Darkness were everywhere.
This band were all over the place.
Oh yeah, the first album, Permission to Land, and the kind of album art that was on it would
Get Your Hands Off My Woman.
Oh, that was the song I was playing. Yeah, Get Your Hands Off of My Woman, motherfucker. Yeah.
That little trail on the end.
Yeah.
Descending kind of chromatic. I love that so much.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that. But yeah, Darkness. Yeah, that just seems like a fun time to me.
Like
you said, I'd probably swap festival them with Steel Panther.
If it was a Christmas festival, I'd love them to play their Christmas tune as well.
Oh yeah, the bells ring.
Yeah, Skillet.
Christian metal pass.
But even just their latest stuff, just like stay
away.
It's
kind of that sort of post grunge kind of alt metal Breaking Benjamin. 3 Days Grace camp, right, Skillet?
Pretty much, yeah. It's among those lines because he does.
Well,
sound
I like Breaking Benjamin. And the other two, not so much. I don't know.
Yeah.
No strong feelings one way or another.
Yeah. I like their older stuff up until Hero, but and Rise is okay as well. They've always just been like meh or decent to me.
They are the quintessential WWE band. Right?
Oh yeah.
Non-offensive kind of radio metal.
Along with Nickelback, yeah. Baroness, ooh, yes. I'm
great band actually. Baroness. We actually had on Mosh Talks. Bees interviewed John Dyer Baisley from Baroness.
Yeah.
This dude is super talented, right? Does all the artwork for all their albums. If you've ever seen any of their artwork for any of their albums, it's stunning.
Oh yeah,
it could be like Renaissance paintings. They're so beautiful.
Yeah.
He's done the artwork for Cavell Attack, their albums, bunch of other bands, and he's the primary songwriter, musician in. Their album, I think it's called Yellow and Gold. I could be wrong. Oh, I'm terrible with the names of albums.
I think Yellow was just an album on its own, wasn't it? But I
Golden
think it's
Grey, sorry.
Golden Grey,
is
yeah.
their most recent
Because they've got Yellow, they've got Purple, I think.
Yeah, Purple, Yellow and Green is one album, which is really diverse album, Yellow and Green. It's all over the place, you know. It's not just your traditional sludge metal or alternative metal, which they are normally. It's all over the place. My favourite, personally, is still Red, their first one. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Great band. If you love prog / sludge in the vein of Mastodon, then definitely check them out.
Yeah, definitely. Of Mice and Men, another sort of like generic metalcore band. Although their latest album was pretty good, but besides from that,
lead singer leave a few years ago?
Yeah, he had some sort of
something went wrong with his throat.
Yeah, he's a part of a new band now, but so their bassist took over as the lead vocalist. They've been doing okay. I mean, like I said, they like, I don't think there's much that stand out from them, so they could be a miss from me.
Just from the look of this stage, it does seem like the kind of archaic kind of was really big in the mid 2000s to late 2000s, but then it's kind of faded out. Stage, with the exception of maybe Baroness.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Because, speaking of which, I didn't even know Pod still existed.
Pod. Here comes Pod.
I just remember that song that was always on Scuzz and Kerrang.
We are the Euthanation.
Is that what it's called?
Or was it Alive?
Alive, yeah, that's the one. Alive.
There's a lot that their three big songs are Alive, Boom, and Euthanation.
Wasn't there Lights Out as well? I think that was another one.
Oh, probably. I don't know much about. You know what?
Stole my phrase.
You know what though? Euthanation is a legitimate banger though.
Yeah.
I was playing that on my guitar the other day, and it actually, the delayed guitar at the beginning gives me goosebumps. You know.
Okay.
Such a great opening riff. But I don't know. Dan said he saw him with Alien Ant Farm last year. So it was one of the best gigs he's ever been to. So
fair enough. Was that just because of Alien Ant Farm though? Or?
I don't know. Pod seemed like a party, you know.
Okay.
POD.
All right. Maybe I'm being too harsh on them. Who knows?
I don't know.
Last international.
Nope, never heard of them.
No, same here. Control the Storm.
Nope, never heard of them.
Okay. Marianas Trench.
Sorry, guys. We can we just say we haven't heard of the most obscure metal bands, you know.
Well, I mean, this is a festival. You're gonna get so many things on the card. So
I love it when I can discover bands that I've never heard of, and they blow me. Like that's what happened with me with Puppy, and I'm the biggest Puppy fan ever. So.
Yeah, like a few years ago, I definitely a lot of stuff I wouldn't have heard of, and then I would have put them on my Spotify, and I was like, they're stuck for me for life now. But
anyway, we're gonna have to wrap this up because it's now 4:00.
Oh yeah, no problem. I think
we've been going for ages on this.
Yeah, well, right. we'll wrap it up and then we'll talk about what we want to talk about next because we'd have to cut a few things out.
We may have to cut a few segments out because we've kind of been going a bit long on this. But
but we have been needing to do this for a while.
We have been. It's good to get this off our chest.
Yeah, exactly. Marianas Trench. That just reminds me of an August Burns Red song, but I don't.
Marianas Trench is Nemo in this band?
Yeah.
What, Dory?
They play deep underwater for
they play a metal cover of Just Keep Swimming.
and then they've got a whole dedication song to Ellen DeGeneres, which
I gotta say it's quite a metal name, Marianas Trench. I can envision this band being a kind of heavy, genty sort of band, but I could be totally off the mark here.
Slam metal, something like that, like
yeah, something like that, yeah.
Jamie Lenman, we talked about them earlier.
Well, yeah, we've covered him. Just, I'm surprised he's playing again, actually, because he's done a few years at Download, you know. Although actually, this is probably the year after the year I saw him. So, yeah, just looking forward to maybe hearing his new material in a live setting. You know, particularly. I Don't Want to Be Your Friend off his latest EP, which is a real crowd engager, you know.
Yeah.
Very hooky and all over the place.
So then we've got The Horror. Anything?
The Who?
Yeah, exactly. No, not The Who, The Horror.
Very good. No, knowing Download, it's probably going to be some Icelandic kind of whale, a band that plays with like whale tusks or
Yeah,
narwhal
yeah.
tusks.
Ding dong, ding
Yeah,
dong.
exactly. from the Eurovision. Piers Brosnan's accent in that film is full on Swedish chef. It's hilarious.
Cemetery Sun, that's another heavy
I have
metal
heard
name.
of them, but I couldn't tell you what music they did.
Dead Posse, that's like insane clown Posey, sorry, Dead Posey.
Dead Posey.
I think I seen them in Brewdog one night. Dead pony. But no, I don't really know much about them either.
No.
Miles Kennedy's. Oh, sorry, I thought someone opened the door. Miles Kennedy's acoustic performance, like we've already covered that earlier. Haken or Haken.
Haken. I would say Haken. Personally.
Yeah, I've heard a bit of them. They're actually pretty good. So
I've got to listen to their album. Actually, their
Yeah.
new album came out this year. Bees played a bit of it.
Yeah,
a single from it. It sounds really good.
yeah,
And Dan loves Haken. Haken, Gleben, Globen. Haken. Dan loves Haken. He's a big prog fan. So if you like your prog metal, check out Haken.
oh, wicked. Twin Temple, anything?
Yes, Twin Temple are now they're a really interesting band that Bees also has been championing a lot on his stream. They are a kind of, how would I describe it? Do you know the Lounge Kittens
No.
from back in the day? Sort of kind of a 40s/50s songstress.
Okay.
You know, like the big microphone and the feather boas going around the neck. You know.
Yeah.
But they sing about like it's kind of goth 50s swinging. It's a very weird, interesting combination.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like 40s radio baroque or whatever you. I don't even know what you call it.
I don't want
Swing.
to set the
Yeah, exactly.
world on fire.
Exactly, like that, right? Kind of that 40s, 50s radio swing, but they sing about like horror and like they're very gothy. Bees absolutely adores this lot.
Spirit Box, they're quite a recent one I've listened to.
Yes, they are.
Holy Roller especially, and I am just
Holy Roller is an amazing song.
Have you heard a live vocal performance of it? Actually?
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
She did it in one take.
Yeah.
Right? Switching from screams to cleans.
And the facial expressions just stays the same, and you're just like, what?
It's unbelievable. She's so talented.
I needed
I was never keen on Wrestle the Bear once, which was her previous band. Never really into them. I think that was a bit too. Nah, not for me. But this lot, Spirit Box, they've actually recently signed to a big label as well. But the tunes they put out so far, they're very, very promising. This lot, I feel like they could be the kind of next. You know how Ginger had a massive ascent.
Oh yeah,
now Ginger,
definitely.
Ginger are like one of the biggest metal bands in the world. I feel like the same's going to happen for Spirit Box. Mark my words.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's that. You know, Kill the Lights. Okay, well, I think they're not going to really. From what I've heard, I saw their virtual gig that was put on a YouTube channel. They seem to play it 2 steps down, which is a bit disappointing because I think the lead singer has some really good belting vocals and.
Now this is Moose's band, isn't it?
Moose's band, from Bullet for My Valentine.
Moose's new band from Bullet for My Valentine, who you showed me a clip of. Yeah, from that tune you showed me, I haven't really listened to any more of their stuff since you showed me that tune. But yeah, you know, if you like Bullet, you'll probably like this lot.
Yeah, or is it no? It's one. It has actually 1 step down. I digress because it's they turn the drop C songs into drop B.
That always kind of is a bit of a disappointment. But you know, if it means that if it's for vocal longevity, like for Matt Tuck, you know, or Dave Mustaine. I actually saw one of the last Megadeth gigs, I think, in standard tuning.
Yeah,
back in like 2012 when I first saw Megadeth, and then after that he dropped them a whole step down, and they sound really weird live. All the Megadeth stuff.
Yeah,
but if it means that, you know, if it eases pressure on his voice, then fair enough, because the voice is a delicate instrument.
Yeah, of course. Okay, well, that's
As I'm finding out now, having not drunk any water in the last few hours, we've been doing this.
To be honest, like it's in the Dogtooth stage. They're probably gonna like have a 4 or 5 song set, and they've got plenty of singles out now. So I think they've got more than enough to back them. So I'm gonna give them a watch. You know, support my boy Moose. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I might do as well. Actually, comes from
I used to listen to quite a bit of Still Remains, and I recently listened to Throw the Fight, a bit of Threat Signal, and wasn't there another band, or am I thinking of something else? Can't remember. I think they obscure their bassist, don't they? I don't think they've got a named bassist. Probably like I don't know, Playback or something like that, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, Modern Era.
No, can't say I've heard of them.
Same. Foxjaw, they ring a bell, but I can't.
Foxjaw, yes. Foxjaw are a band that have kind of been creeping up from the UK metal scene for the last few years, along with bands like Conjurer, Nervous, Dream State, bands like that, all from that kind of lumped in that kind of UK metal scene. The best way I can describe them from what I've heard is sludge metal, sort of sludge metal, but with kind of modern alternative kind of leanings.
Okay, you know? I'm a fan.
So they might be your bag. You know, they're kind of quite abrasive at parts. You know.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give them. I'll check them out. Anchor Lane. I've heard of them. I'm pretty sure I did dig them, but
yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I know Anchor Lane. They're very much in the kind of Foo Fighters-y vein of alternative rock, you know.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you know, from what I've heard, decent stuff, you know.
Wicked. Okay, and finally, to wrap this up.
Finally. Right.
Temple on Mars.
No, never heard of them.
No,
right.
And that's it.
Wrapped it up. That wraps it up.
Right.
Okay, well, just overall thoughts then on the lineup. Would you say it's a good lineup or a...
I think, from what I've seen, there's definitely standout days. I feel like a lot of there's a lot of stuff I do want to check out, like Creeper, and I want to see Holding Absence again, and definitely Funeral for a Friend. Let me just round out what I definitely want to see. So, No Kiss, No Day to Remember. Yeah, I love to see Frank Carter, especially on the main stage. And then that's it for the Friday for the main stage. From the second stage, you've got just Lacuna Coil, Miles Kennedy, maybe. Then on the Avalanche, Sleep Token, yeah. Hot Milk, maybe. Wargasm, definitely. And then down there, Bokassa, I'll give them a go. Saturday, Biffy Clyro, Deftones, Gojira, oh yes. I go for the Pretty Reckless as well, Those Damn Crows, most definitely. Killswitch, Mastodon, yes.
Man, you're gonna struggle to see all of that lot.
I know.
I wish that Saturday was more spread out. As much as it's an embarrassment of riches for me, because I love so many bands on the Saturday. There's going to be so many clashes.
Yeah. Daughtry, yeah. And then Avalanche, Funeral, Creeper, Holding, Loathe, yep. And then from that Dogtooth one, Bleed From Within. What?
I think you're missing one band.
Am I? Oh, Puppy.
Yes.
No, that's for you, that is.
Yes,
that's not for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then Bleed From Within, Higher Power, Lotus Eater, and then that Sunday where you've got System of a Down, Korn, Rise Against, maybe, Ailstorm will be fun, Wage War, yes, because I've been waiting to see them at Download, so there you go. Steel Panther will be fun, The Darkness, definitely. And then you've got Baroness. Yeah, I couldn't see them last time because they crashed with crashed. No, they didn't crash. They clashed with someone else.
You know what? That's a bit of a Freudian slip there because Baroness were actually involved in a bus crash.
Oh, were they?
Just after making Yellow.
I assure you that was very unintentional.
Yeah,
I just
that
slip
was
of the tongue.
definitely unintentional.
Okay. Yeah. Haken, yeah, give them a go. Spirit Box, definitely. Killer Lights. If I listen to Foxjaw, I'm like, yeah, I'll give them a go as well. And then Anchor Lane, and that's it for me.
Yeah. Well, I could sum it up quite quickly. Saturday, embarrassment of riches. Friday and Sunday, yeah, I'd rather go for Sunday, I guess.
Yeah.
The headliner and the sub-headliner on Friday, I'm just, nah, not really my cup of tea at all.
Yeah.
System of a Down and Corn, I do like, though. And I guess I'll just peruse about the lower stages, really, see who comes into my side. But Saturday is the one, and I'm so gutted I'm probably not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I would rank them.
I really want to meet up with, because a lot of the Mosh squad, the guys who view the Mosh Talks YouTube channel are going as well, and I really want to meet up with some of them.
Okay, well, we'll
right, so that is Download. Done.
Yeah. Okay.